All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Hope you all can hear me, and thank you all for joining us again for another EdTech Tuesdays with ATMs and friends. And this particular session is enhancing education with ViewSonic's interactive whiteboard, starting today at 3:45. So it's that time. So we're going to go ahead and kick it off. I hope you all can hear me. If you can, just give me a thumbs up in the chat to let me know that you're able to hear my voice.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you for that. My name is Purnell Allen. I am the Alabama Technology and Motion Specialist located at the University of Alabama at Birmingham, UAB. Go Blazers. That's my contact information if you need to reach out to me. Both emails I do respond to. If you're on X and would like to follow me on X, I'm at UAB_ATIM, ATIM. If you like this session or any ATIM session, you can put out the hashtag ATIMPD on any social media platform. Those universities you see over there to the left are where other ATM specialists and the regional in-service centers are located across the state. Region 5 serves the following LEAs. That's from Bessemer Aerospace and Aviation, Bessemer Birmingham and Power, Fairfield I3 Academy, Jefferson County Legacy Prep, Leeds Magic City Acceptance Academy, Midfield, Tarrant, and Trustfield City Schools. Here we are once again, and this lets you see our fall lineup for EdTech Tuesdays. If you register, you should have that booklet. If not, I will send it out to you on tomorrow when I send you a copy of the recording from this session. And this is our spring lineup. Okay. If you haven't had an opportunity to listen to Tim Talks, that's our podcast hosted by my colleague Angela Clark and myself. And we're basically just try to bring awareness about the different state initiatives around the state, as well as highlight certain schools around the state. If you haven't had an opportunity, please listen to that. We've been on a hiatus somewhat, but we will be back at it shortly. But you can listen to, I think we have about 8 episodes on there now, 9 if you count session 0. You can listen to us on Spotify, Amazon Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts. And at this time, I will stop talking, stop sharing my screen, and give you all the opportunity to hear from Mr. Nathaniel Harris, who will be introducing you all and sharing with you all the ways to enhance education with ViewSonic Interactive Digital Whiteboard.
Good afternoon, everyone. I pray that y'all are having a great school year thus far. Um, Today, I'm going to try to share some information. We did the session last year, just some basic information, and to try to whet your appetite on some of the features that the board provides. My good friend Purnell and I have been working together for many years, and it's just a blessing to see how the Tech Tuesdays from West End Academy are now state level. Just want to shout out Mr. Allen for his work in supporting our schools in this area. We don't have much time, and so what I want to encourage y'all to do is I'm going to share several things, but I want you to grab hold of at least 2 things that you can take away and use immediately. I want to try not to overwhelm you with too much information. I've actually modified the presentation a little bit, so I'm not going to go by my normal presentation. And I am in a different location than in my office, so I just realized I had to download the software to this board at the Board of Education. And so we're going to go for it, try to wing it from here. But again, welcome. I hope your school year is off to a great start, and let's get to some ViewBoard. So I'm going to be switching shortly to my iPad so that you can actually see everything that I'm doing. One of the things that I did share the last time was about the account that's online. As a matter of fact, I'm going to switch to my camera and I'm going to show you that. So switch real quick. Share this screen here. Scroll to the screen. All right. And if everything is working correctly, you should be seeing the view board with its symbol pulled up. I'm going to try to use my MacBook as a sort of teleprompter. But as I was stating, the My View Board, there's an account that you can get because some of the features on the view board require signing. But before I get into that, really quickly, some of the basic features, and just I want to cover some of the basic things. One of the main things I want to cover is casting and looking at the two operating systems that the ViewBoard has. That's if you have the slot-in PC. The board itself is a large Android tablet. And so I'm going to start on the Android side. I'm going to go here at the bottom, power button, home button, back button, settings, volume button, and then you have 3 USB ports here. All right. So anytime you press the home button, whether you press it here or whether you use the arrows on the side where these tools are, anytime you press the home button, it's going to take you to the Android. I want you to notice that it takes a little while for it to pop up. That's because it's changing systems. So let me stand in front of the camera. There are 2 systems on this board if you have the slot-in PC. The tablet itself is a large Android tablet, but many school systems are purchasing a slot-in PC. Again, this is the Android side. So if you hear me saying side, that means it's the Android operating system. Anytime you press the home button, it's going to bring you to this screen. Now, depending on the age of your device, this may look a little different, but anytime you press that home button, it's going to bring you to the Android operating system or the Android side, which is what this interactive panel. Again, these are the buttons here on the front. Now on the side, and it's going to be a little wonky really quickly, just so I can show you the side. Again, I'm not in my office, so I'm having to make do. And hopefully you can see, I want to turn this to the side. And these large antenna, this is connected to the slot-in PC. So this is what it gives us, the Windows PC. But again, it's added to the ViewBoard. Down here, these ports are for the board itself. Now, if you have a slot-in PC and it is not working properly, you can still use the board because again, it's a big Android tablet. Just a few pieces you want to guard with your life. These antenna, because that's your Wi-Fi card for the board. All right, for the board itself. These antenna are connected to the PC. All right, I'm going to try to set this back. All right. And I'm going to switch a couple times just to show you the difference between the two. Right now, I'm on the Android side. This is the Android side of the board. All right. I'm going to switch really quickly down here. I'm going to go back to the PC. Okay, there we go. And oftentimes you should hear that connection sound like when you plug in the USB or when you switch to the other side. Again, this is the PC side. This was added to the board, but the board itself, I'm going to press the home button again, is an Android tablet. Really quickly while I'm here, the apps are housed in this container. There are 4 that sit on what I call the top shelf. But if certain ones, and these are the ones that I recommend that you get, I'm going to remove this folder. Did not mean to open that. Go back home. Really quickly, I'm going to remove this folder by holding it and dragging it. I'm going to drag it down because I want to put another app there that I'm going to use. All right, I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to grab VCast. That's one of the things I'm going to demonstrate. So I'm going to bring this app up, press it hold. I'm going to drag it here. Now, if you like, you can drag it over here. It will actually sit over here, but I want it to be on my top shelf. Okay. And I want you to notice also, I left the browser there, Whiteboard, which is the software that I'm going to show, and then display, which is another way to cast. So these are going to be the 2 ways to cast that I'm going to demonstrate today. Well, I didn't intend to do that, but I guess I need to go ahead and do that as well. Likely, if you haven't used the My Display software on the Android side, it's going to cause you to update. This is a very useful tool if you're having issues with VCast. And so I'll show both those. Okay. As I said before, I'm not in my office. I'm in a borrowed room on a borrowed board, and they so graciously allowed me to use the board here in our special ed department. So as soon as I leave here, I'll be going into the board meeting. So
May I ask a question?
fire away.
So this recording, will it be sent out to the people that are participating?
It will
Yes,
be
ma'am.
sent
Is
to
that
everyone.
okay?
Yes. Oh, go ahead, Miss Sarah. But yes, it will be.
Okay.
You're good.
Thank
All right, really quick. Big Android tablet, and then when you tap here, it takes you to the PC side. One board, two operating systems, but the board itself is an Android tablet. All right. While I'm on this side, I'm going to go ahead and show you VCast. Now, if you're in your classroom and you wanted to cast to your board, you're going to want to name your board, right? So you're going to go into VCast, and I'm going to go back home just to show you where I got it from. If you do not see it in it, I'll call it the top shelf. If it's not on the top shelf, check down here in this container. You're going to find VCast. You can either open it here or you can drag it to the top shelf. But you're going to open VCast, and it tells you the device name right here. In order to change that name, you go down to settings, device name. You're going to hit this pencil. And I don't think the SPED department would mind me changing this. I tap on the blank again, and it gives me an on-screen keyboard. I'm going to remove that because if you're in a school and there are more boards around you, you're going to get a long list of boards, but they're going to say cast with some 4-digit number. And if you don't know which one is yours, unless you've written it down somewhere, but you can go in and you can change the name. I'm going to change this one to SPED. And I want you to notice once you hit that, once you put the name in, you have to hit the check mark. If you don't hit the check mark, it will not confirm it. So hit the check mark, and then it renamed this device to SPED. Okay. Now, for those of you who have MacBooks or iMacs or iPads or iPhones, you can use AirPlay. And all you have to do is go to your screen mirroring, locate your board, and do like you would do if you were joining, like you were AirPlay to an Apple TV. All right. Now, this process is a little lengthy. I'm just going to show you where to go to get VCast sender. This is VCast receiver. So I'm going to go back home one more time. I'm going to go into VCast. This is where you come and you can rename the device by coming to settings. Tap again to the keyboard, change the name, check the box. And if you're going to use VCast, you're going to want to also check that PIN code box. And what that does, instead of you having to come into VCast to get this code each time, the code will appear here. And that's for VCast. In order to use VCast, you have to download the app. And again, all this being captured on the video, so you want to go back and do this later because this takes a little time. But you're going to go to this website and put the address in exactly as is. It's going to ask you for a PIN code. You're going to use the 6 digits that you see on your board. And then on the left side, you're going to see the different types of operating systems. Depending on what operating system you have, you choose Mac or Windows, you'll download that software and install it. And then you'll be able to use this. That's what VCast is. Okay. All right. I'm going to start saying my little phrase. There's no place like home. I'm going to go back home. Now I'm going to show you my viewboard display. This is a second way to cast. I like this way when we have people come in from the State Department. The State Department is restrictive on their devices, so you can't install software. So you can't use VCast. Now, if you have a MacBook, you can use it. But if you have a Windows PC or device, you will have to come to my viewboard display. All you have to do is go to this website, put the address in like that. You'll put the display code in, and there's a temporary password. It expires every 30 seconds. But once you put it in, it'll lock you in. This is a second way to cast to the board. This is very helpful. Let's say if you wanted your students to share to your board, this is one way you can allow them to share. If a coworker wanted to come in and share something with your students, you can pop this on the screen, or they can do screen mirror, but this is just another way. It's good to have more than one way to cast to the board.
You
So I'll
have
go
a
back one
couple of
more.
questions, Mr. Harris.
Fire away.
So one of the questions asks, what do you press in order to get the on-screen keyboard?
Okay. No place like home. So when you go into VCast and you're going to change the name to go into settings, when you tap on the pencil, you tap on the blank a second time, and then it gives you an on-screen keyboard.
Okay. And I hope that answered that question. The second question was, so what if I want to cast, if I use VCast app, but if I use AirPlay without VCast, let me make sure. It said, but can I use AirPlay without VCast? Is that correct?
You can't use AirPlay. That's why I started off by saying Apple, any Apple device, iPad, iMac, iPhone, MacBook, all of those you can use. You just go to that mirroring list and find your device and cast that way. What I like about VCast, since this is an interactive board, with VCast, it gives you the ability to cast from your device, but you can still touch the board. With screen mirroring, you don't get that capability. Only with VCast. So if you AirPlay, yes, you can use the Mac. You connect with AirPlay or screen mirror. If you use my ViewBoard display, but neither one of those ways allow you to touch the board. Only VCast gives you touchability. Any other questions, Mr. Allen?
Yes, sir. One just popped up. It says in VCast, it says Chromecast does not support password protection nor multiple screen casting.
I'm not sure what that is, but if you go in, and I think what they did here, they turned on enable Chromecast. And if you have a Chromebook, you can use Chromecast. I guess I can show y'all this quick feature, and it could come in handy. I try to not give y'all too much information, but since this is being recorded, I think this will be helpful. Let's say, for instance, you wanted to share something with another teacher, or she wanted you to teach a lesson, and you were going to use some My ViewBoard software. If you come here, you can actually turn on display groups, and you can connect to multiple boards at the same time. So you will select, now I don't want to do that. That's the boardroom. But anyway, you will select the boards, and when you hit confirm, whatever you are showing on this screen will connect to the board in the other rooms. So if you want to share a lesson, if you want one teacher to present a lesson for both classes, that's a tool that you can use to do that. Now, I'm thinking that you would probably have to have a microphone or something like that. But as far as what they see, you can connect and share that way.
Another quick question, Mr. Harris. It says, if you have a Chromebook, you may or may not use Chromecast. Is that correct?
You can use Chromecast, but with the Chromebook, you can also go to my ViewBoard display, because this is a website. This is web-driven. You just go to that website and then put the display code in and the password, and you should be good. But yeah, Chromecast does work. I had to test it out.
That's it at the time.
Okay. Really quickly, while I'm here let me go back to the Android side. I am there, but I want to go back home really quickly. All right. So just a note, if you're having issues with Wi-Fi, you want to check here. You want to zoom in. If you're having issues with Wi-Fi, I want you to pay attention. It's not what I wanted. I want you to pay attention to the Wi-Fi symbol. If there's an X at the bottom, you may see the lines, but if there's an X at the bottom, that means you're not connected. If that's the case, you want to tap on Wi-Fi. If it's off, you want to turn it back on right here. Hit the toggle switch. and connect to whatever your network is. Okay. If it is on and you still have an X, right up under the board, right next to the power cable is the main power switch. Let me zoom out. There we go. So if you're still having issues, even if everything is on, but the X is still there, right under the bottom of the board, underneath the board, right next to the power cable, there's the main power switch. Shut that off 10 seconds or so, turn it back on, and it'll reset the Wi-Fi card, and it should pick the Wi-Fi up. But again, starting here, if you see the X and if it's not a dot, you just go in there, make sure that it's on and that you're connected to a network. If it is, then you want to go up under here, turn the entire board down for 10 seconds or so and turn it back on. Okay,
You
so
have
this is go ahead, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I apologize. I thought you was pausing, but it says, can you present a PowerPoint to two boards for a presentation with the dual board that you demonstrated, that you showed?
Yes, whatever you show on this board will be cast to the other board. Okay. What I'm going to do, I'm going to open the My Whiteboard software on this side just to let you see it, but I'm going to demonstrate it on the other side. Now, this is the headquarters. So this is the Board of Education. And I'm not sure if they have purpose for using this down here. So it may not be activated. I'm going to check and see. All right. So if you open the software and you see this message, you have to activate the software. It's a simple process. I'm a user. I'm just going to put BD for board. I'm going to put BOE. And then I have to put my email address in. And now the software is registered. I can actually go in. Once you register your software, if it has that old symbol on it, and I'm going to point to the corner. If it's still this symbol, and it's a little smaller, it's a little bit smaller. Come on, there we go. If you see this icon, that's an old version. Now it's 3 versions behind. So all you do, and this is true every 2 or 3 months or so, update the software, and here's how you do it. Zoom back out. Too far. Okay. So over here, I'm going to move that. See, that pin code is still there, but you can move it. Okay. I'm going to go into settings right here. It's going to open this menu. I'm going to hit this I for information, and it's already updated to the latest version, not the latest. But on the Android side, you have to move from one level to the next before you get to the final or the updated version. So I'm going to go ahead and install that. I want you to notice the difference in the icon. So here's the new icon. Here's the new, not the latest, but on the Android side, you have to move from the old to the new and then to the new West. I'm going to go ahead and install that. And then I'm going to open it a second time because that's not the latest version. Now, this is for the Android side. On the PC side, and it depends on which one you're using. On the PC, I just go ahead and download it from the internet so I can get the latest version, and it moves a little faster. But I'm going to follow those same steps. I'm going to go to the settings. I'm going to hit this I, and it's already updated to the newest version. The icon is going to change. And while it's doing that, again, so the Android side, when you get the software, this is the My ViewBoard software. Now, the board itself, most people probably use it as a display, but really get it. I want to encourage you to get into that software and see all that it can do. I came from the Promethean world when I was in the classroom, and it has some really cool features. You had to calibrate the pins, keep up with the pins, and remote, all those different things like that. It was interactive to an extent, but not like this. This is far better because, of course, Technology always improves. But yeah, so if you're using it for a display, if you like to go to YouTube, I'm going to try to sell you on the My Viewboard software being a one-stop shop. Everything that you're looking for, even things like Class Dojo, things of that nature, ABC, yeah, those websites, depending on the grade level. But I want you to notice this new icon. I'm going to zoom in there. Uh-oh. Sorry. Notice that new icon in the corner? So that is the latest version. This is the latest, this is the icon for the latest version. Okay, so now that's updated. I don't want to open it, so I'm going to zoom back out. Well, actually, I will open it and just show it to you on the Android side. All right. Now we're going into the My Viewboard software. I want you to pay close attention to the software on the Android side. Now, I want you to notice, particularly down in this corner, this is for backgrounds, right? So the backgrounds are here. When I switch sides, there's going to be an additional feature that you only get on the PC side. Again, same software. It functions a little slower on the Android side. It's a little clearer and faster on the PC side. It functions great. Everything that works with it works the same on both sides. These arrows, I'll show you the rest on the other side. So I'm going to go back home. No place like home. All right. I'm going to hit PC. Now I'm going to switch. All right. I'm going to minimize my symbol screen. And I'm going to show you the count at the end because I want to go ahead and show you some of the features in My Viewboard software. Here's the icon again. This is the latest icon, or this is the icon for the latest version of the software. Yeah, so I'm going to open that. Okay, here we go. Mr. Allen, please don't let me get stuck. There are so many different things in here, and I'm going to show a few, and I want you all to grab hold of certain things. But I'm going to start out by saying magic box. I want you to remember the magic box. If you don't remember anything else, remember the magic box. I'm going to zoom in on the magic box. Don't forget let me zoom back out. Remember I told you in the right, down in the corner there, I want you to pay attention to, I keep switching to a video. I apologize. But I'm going to zoom in on the corner really quickly. I'm going to switch from PC to Android. But I want you to notice right here on the Android side, you do not have this feature. This is the participate feature. Really quickly, I'm going to go home. So it looks like it's the same, but this is the Android version of the My Viewboard software. No participate feature. When I switch back to PC, background and the participate feature. And really quickly, what the participate feature is, it gives you the ability, or it allows you to send up to 6 students to the board at once. And as soon as it finishes loading, and this works in the background with the My Whiteboard software. So while the Whiteboard software is running, this is sitting there in the background waiting for you to activate it. Generally doesn't take that long. There we go. And if this window pops up, just click exit or OK. And so that gives you the ability to send, as I stated, up to 6 students. Let me zoom back out so you can see that. This has 3, but each one can have their own pen with different colors, and they can be working simultaneously. It doesn't interfere with anything that either one of the students would be doing. If you wanted to send, say, 6 students to the board, you can send 3, right? Let the 3 work on their assignment. I did that in reverse, but then you can come up here and swap it and flip it. So 3 more can come and do the same. But again, this feature is a part of the My Viewboard software only on the PC side. and you note the icon down here in the left corner. All
They
right.
wanted to see how you got that again.
Okay.
Show them how you got that multiple users up.
Okay. So when you open your My Whiteboard software, and some of you may have to update your software. If you do not have, let's see, where can I zoom? Yeah. If you do not have this icon, if you have the yellow cloud, or if you have the black, white, and red, looks like the actual whiteboard, then you need to update your software. But this is the latest version of the software. And I would recommend just going to the website, depending on if your district has, you have to have admin credentials sometimes to install software, but this is the latest version and you will get that participate feature. Now it's on the last version as well. So if you got the yellow cloud with the pencil, it should have that. But yeah, it's in this software. All right. Really quickly, with that update, it used to be that you would have to grab the tools and move them wherever you want them. But now, I'm going to zoom in a little closer. On every side of the board, there are arrows. And you probably see them. So if I want the tools, wherever I go, I can bring those tools to me just by touching these arrows. In the past, I had to drag them wherever I wanted them. But now I just simply touch the arrows and it'll bring the tools to me. Right. Right. So really quickly, going across the top, when you have your account, you'll be able to scan in. Your credentials will appear where this cloud is. All right, up in the top left corner. A little bit. Yeah, your credentials will appear here. Going on across the top, as I mentioned before, I talked about the settings, but here is the notifications. All right, that's the bell here. All right, and there's settings right here. When you sign in, you also have a little array of squares showing your cloud integrations. I have Google Drive and OneDrive connected. I can pull files from those locations. That will appear here. Every 2 or 3 months, just go in here, tap on this icon, tap on the eye, and update the software. I just updated this today, so it's already updated. But periodically, you want to go in and check that. All right, now coming back across, and I'm going to move these tools out of the way. Backgrounds. All right, and I don't want to get caught up here, but I'm going to show you the backgrounds. When you go in, say for instance, you're a history teacher. You can go in and grab, and I use geography every time, so let me do something different. I'm going to pretend that I'm a physical science teacher. I'm going to tap on a background that I want, and I'm going to apply it to this page. What that does, it only puts it on that page. If I say apply to all pages, every time I add a new page, it's going to be the periodic table. I only want one. I'm only going to add it to this page. Okay. Now, here in this navigation toolbar, I'm going to add a new page, and it should be white. This thumbnail right here shows me my presentation, because that's what it ends up becoming once you add pages to it. It's like a slideshow. So my second page is clear, it's just a white background. But if I go and I want to add another background, I could come in. Let me get with some of the lower grades really quickly. So I want to get these A's. I want the kids to come to the board and trace. All right. You can throw that in that background, and I only apply it to that page. So when I go to my thumbnails, I now have the periodic table, and I have the letter A as my background. So if students were to come up to the board and trace, they could use their finger to trace the alphabet. Now, I'm going to show you a feature. This is palm eraser. I'm going to show you a feature that's really cool, and I'm skipping ahead a little bit, but it's called Infinity Canvas. Infinity Canvas. So this hand, and if you are a math teacher and you used to punish kids like my teacher used to do me in high school, you get one problem for your exam, and one of those really long math problems, and you get graded for each stage. So the infinity canvas allows or gives you the space you need to do an extremely long problem. So I'm going to tap on this hand. And with that hand, I can resize this canvas. But if you're in the kindergarten or first grade class, you want to use this, you can bring this by pitching. You can bring more students to the board by using the infinity canvas. That's this hand right here. If I tap it and reset it, it puts it back to normal or to its regular size. But again, that's the hand. And if you want to resize, touch the hand and just pinch. And it's called infinity canvas. Set. I'm going to add a new page. So I want a white background. On your navigation toolbar, of course, these arrows move these tools. All right, this is edit mode. If I tap this, it goes into present mode. I want to go back to edit. This is your clipboard. So if you copy something from the website, you can paste it here using this clipboard. Again, this is how you add a page. And this shows you your thumbnails or it shows you your presentations or your slides. The main toolbar. The first thing I want to show you is annotate on the desktop. So if you hit the Windows symbol by mistake, don't panic. Most people are like, oh no, what did I do? Where did it go? You're trying to find it, but it's still saying that it's open. All you have to do is come back over here and touch the My Whiteboard symbol, and it'll take you back to the software. But this is a really cool feature because you can have something pulled up in the background or on another screen and hit that Windows symbol, and it'll bring you to where you're annotating over the desktop. But I'm going to tap it to take me back. Okay.
Mr.
This
Candace, I
feature
think
shows.
that was a question someone had about being able to annotate on web pages. So I guess that'll be the same.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to show them something better. I hope.
All right.
All right. So going on across, I'll make sure this camera's connected. And again, I'm trying not to get caught up. But if you come here, this is a screen capture. What's really cool about the screen capture, you can pre-record your lesson. It will record your screen. That means everything that you're doing on the screen and your voice. All right. I may come back to that, but I want to get to more features and I want to try to show more features. Again, I'm going to share some things. I just want to whet your appetite and hopefully share. You can grab a couple of things that you can start using right away. But that's screen capture. This is the phone if you were to save the files because you can save your files and it becomes a special file. It's an OLF format and it only opens in the My ViewBoard software. It's like the flip charts for the Prometheus board if you had one of those. But you can save the files. And that brings me to the magic box. That's what I'm going to spend the most of the time. So let me skip on across. All right. I want to talk to you about your pen. If you got this pen, and I know it has two tips, but the tips are actually different. So the fine tip is defaulted to red. But if you use the fine tip, tap on the pen, you can adjust the tip of the pen. You can adjust the color of the pen. That's for the fine tip. The stylus side of your pen is something different, right? It's on a different color. If you use the stylus side and tap the pen, you can also adjust the tip of the stylus. Each side is unique, right, in itself. You can use that to do different things. If you wanted to do a math problem and you were writing 3 + 8, just to distinguish between the numbers in the problem, the add-ins, for the math teachers out there. But you can use a pen to do different colors with it. Let's go on to the eraser. You can use that eraser if you want, or you can just slap your palm on the board and wipe it away. Now, I also like to do what I call, just go mark the board up really quickly. I like to so your select tool here, that's the arrow with the dot. When you see that perforated line that's your select tool. That's how you manipulate anything on the board. So I'm going to circle all of that and I'm going to delete it. And that's with any object. Now, if you use those, there's some special things in here that I'll show you in the Magic Box. If you use those, then you have to actually exit those individually. But anything you write, any picture you throw on the screen, you can use the select tool to lasso all of it and throw it in the trash can.
You
I
had
see some questions.
Yeah,
Go
you
ahead.
had a couple of more. You had one, let me go back. I think you answered a couple of them that were on here. PCS, that was answered. Can you say the pages? That was answered. Someone is having an issue, so we'll see about them toward the at the end. And it said, since you were on the pen, what's the AI features of the pen?
That's what sold me on the board. AI. So for those who are artistically challenged, at least visually, with visual arts, the AI pen is really cool because it'll try to figure out what you're drawing. If I try to draw a tree, it's going to try to figure out on its own that I'm trying to draw a tree. And if I like any of the images that the AI, artificial intelligence, presents, I can just grab that image and drag it into my presentation. Now, that's really cool. But if you want some images of real trees, you just long press, maybe double tap, step off. All right, I'm going to long press here, and it'll take me to the internet, and I can scroll down this collection of trees and grab something I like, and I can actually drag that into my presentation. And as I was stating before, with the select tool, anything I want to manipulate, I just touch it. Then I can resize it and do different things with it. And there are some tools that come with it as well. You can crop it, all these different things you can do with it. You can duplicate it. You can add a link to it. That's the AI pen. When you go in there, just tap it, tap on AI, and whatever you drew last will stay there until you delete it. Is there a question?
No, I think when you were talking about being able to, you said you can go to YouTube from your boards and things of that nature. I don't think you got back to that.
Yes, sir. All right. Really quickly. Oh, and just in case, when you're on the board, anytime you want to manipulate it, make sure whatever tool you select, that's what's going to keep happening. And I'll show you what I mean in a second. If you want to do anything to it, make sure you choose the select tool. If you don't choose the select tool, whatever tool you're using you'll keep using it. And I'm going to give you an example of that really quickly. These are shapes. So I'm going to tap on the square. I'm going to draw a square. Say, for instance, I draw the square and now I want to manipulate the square. If I don't go and choose the select tool and I try to manipulate the square, it's just going to keep making squares. So just remember to go to the select tool and then you can manipulate it. With the shapes that you put on the screen, you can turn on the measurements, turn them on and off by selecting this angle here, this image that represents an angle. If you touch that, it'll turn measurements on and off. You can also feel. You can feel the shapes. And again, all this is once you use the select tool, you grab. I'm going to lasso everything and toss it in the trash. All right. Now I'm going to go to the magic box. In the magic box, there are several tools that does not require signing in. If you want some YouTube videos without commercials, don't go on Google Chrome to get them. Go into the magic box, right? Tap on YouTube. I like dancing lemurs. Right? So it'll pull a video for me. I can play the video right here in this window, or I can actually drag that video right into my presentation. And play the video right there. Again, Magic Box, YouTube, and whatever your last search was until you exit the program, That search will remain in this window unless you change it. All right, that's for YouTube. All the features except these last three, you can use them without signing in. All right, so math tools or our math teachers. If you need to roll the die, you want to do permutations, combinations, permutations, or probability, the die actually rolls. You can have multiple. You need a coordinate grid. You can drag one of those onto the screen and you can actually resize that grid by grabbing the lines on the side. Same thing with the compass. You have a clock, stopwatch. All these tools are actually functional tools. The spotlight tool is a pretty neat tool. If you want to just focus on certain things, you can use the spotlight tool. You can resize that screen. You should be able to resize the screen. And that's the translucence of the background. Yeah, it's like moving slow or something's going on with it. But yeah, so that's one thing you can do with that. Again, all this is in the magic box. Now, what I want to do really quickly, I'm going to grab my phone and I'm going to sign in. Are there any questions, Mr. Allen?
Yes, sir. You have one
Okay.
now. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
It says, can we use our document cameras within my view?
It depends on what you have. Yes. So whatever camera you have connected. So I'm going to show you really quickly. What I was showing you before was screen capture, but in the magic box, if I go here, I can use it as a document camera. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And it said, can I take images from a document camera to place on that screen as well?
If they're connected, it should capture it into the screen.
Okay.
Or like, 'cause some document cameras have this on software, but you should be able to copy and paste or drag it into the MyViewBoard software.
Okay. Going back, I think it was some more. Oh, somebody was not working, I think. I'll make sure it's okay. I think that's it, Mr. Harris.
Okay. Now I'm going to go into the settings up here at the top. I'm going to show you where to get the My Companion app. Once you set up your account, the way you set up your account online, you're going to connect that account in the My Companion app. This is what the image looks like, or the icon looks like for the Companion app. And what this does, it connects you to your account. It allows you to sign in and it gives you access to features that you won't be able to use unless you're signed in. If I go back to the magic box and I tap on throwing, it tells me sign in required. If I tap on pop quiz, sign in required. If I tap on polling, sign in required. Several of the features, sign in is required. I'm going to go ahead and sign in. I'm going to go back really quickly and let y'all see what the My Companion app looks like. It's the phone, the yellow cloud with the phone. That's the Companion app. Okay. And when you're connected properly, it'll look like this. And just so you know, when you set your account up in here, you're going to be the IT host because it's your account, not a participant, IT host. So I'm going to use this QR scanner and I'm going to scan into the board. And what you're going to see, I want to stay signed in. The features that I set up in my account should appear on this board. So when it popped up, I set my account to sign me out after 1 hour. Okay. I have a default background. I'm not sure why it's not popping up, but usually the life cycle of a butterfly pops up on the screen. But now that I've scanned in, and so this board is actually a little different because it's missing up here at the top. There's normally the icon I was telling you about with it shows my OneDrive or my Google Drive. But now when I go back to the magic box, I can use Throw, right? Now, if you use the My Companion app, you have a document camera in your hand. But if I want to share something really quickly with my students, in this My Companion app, this airplane, I'm going to use that airplane. I'm going to use my camera. And I'm just going to take a picture of something really quickly. When I do that, I'm going to say, use the photo. Now, I'm sending it to my board, so you got to put the host name in there. If the host name is not there, you will hit the QR reader, and whoever's board you're on, over here in this corner, you just hit your profile. And it'll scan in to give you session ID. Once I have that, I'm going to go back to this airplane in the corner. I'm going to throw it to the board. So you see that it's thrown into the board.
Okay.
And I want you to notice on the board, I got a notification here in the bell saying that someone's trying to throw it to the board. Now I can open it from there or on the camera or on the phone rather. I'm going to hit got it. And I want to open it from my phone. So I hit yes. And the picture that I just took, that could be a file, that could be a document, that could be, say for instance, you had a sheet of verbs or something that you wanted to share with students on the board, a paragraph, something that you want to share. You can use your phone to throw it to the board. Again, that feature is in the magic box, right? You have to use a feature here, you have to have signed in. All right. If your students have devices, they can actually throw to your board as well. They could join your session. And again, I'm trying not to get stuck. So I do want y'all to participate in one activity with me. Now I'm going to go to Pop Quiz. And I'm going to put a problem up here that I want you all to solve. All right, here's what I need you to do. I need you to scan this QR code. Let's see if it'll work. Scan the QR code. When you do that, it's going to take you to a website. It's going to tell you you're trying to join my session. You're going to put your name in. You're going to hit confirm. The activity you're going to join is called Pop Quiz. It's going to give you a whiteboard, right? And on that whiteboard, you'll be able to answer your question and show you the answer. But once you're done, you're going to use the airplane to throw your answer to me. This could be a bell ringer. This could be an exit ticket. This could be used as a quick formative assessment just to check for understanding. And what I can do, I can see what my students are thinking. Answers are coming in, they're coming in. Now, I want you to notice on the board, there's a box right here. I can say limit to one answer per student. But if it's one of those situations where I want you to try it again, I see an excuse on the board. I teach English. But this is a wonderful feature. And again, I'm going to close this. It's in the magic box, but you have to be signed in to use it. It's called Pop Quiz. And again, you still hear those answers popping in. The notifications are coming there. Even though I didn't close it fully, because when I open it back up, it's still there. So the answers are still coming in. You're going to allow students to answer again, just in case they teach English and want to try to answer anyway. And if you use the text feature in that on that whiteboard in the drawing feature, the text is going to be small unless you adjust the size. But it is a wonderful feature. I'm going to pause there, exit that. I did want to show you one final thing. Now, even though the array did show up at the top there, that shows my OneDrive and my Google Drive. If you look here, and I'm going to zoom in on it so you can see it up close. Here's my Google Drive. So if I have a presentation that I've done in Google, if I have a presentation that I've done in PowerPoint, I can pull that down and actually put it in my presentation. Here are all the files in my Google Drive. And if I'm wanted to put, no, bring your own Mac. It's going to download that presentation. It's going to ask me which slides I want to use. I can select all, or I can stop. I'll select all, or I can select individual slides. I got stopping on the brain. So I could go in here and down here, I can select all, or I could just grab the slide I want. And down here, I'm going to import landscape. And it will bring that slideshow right into my presentation. Okay. I'm going to stop there. Are there any other questions about anything that I've shown? Again, I've shown quite a bit, but I just want to share a few things, enough things where you can pull at least one or two out to use in your classrooms right away.
Mr. Harris, I did get a few people said that this was awesome. And one of the questions that we have behind this is awesome is, can you save their answers to check later?
That's a good question. What you can do, even if, let me go back to pop quiz, right here in the corner, you can save those answers. Even if that feature wasn't there, what you could do is screenshot that. Now, just in case you get, in this situation, you only see the answers. You get to see who the student is when the answers are not revealed. But what you can do you can have them to put their name so that if you want to record their information, you have them put their name in their answer. But yes, you can save this.
I just have one more question if possible. Like my district right now is cracking down on cell phones. We have to take them up first period and the kids can't get them back till seventh period. Could they do this on like their Chromebook and participate it that way?
Yes, ma'am. I know that cameras are on the Chromebooks and they should be able to, if the cameras will work, that'd be great. If not, you can go ahead and pre-create a link, right? This link will allow them to do the same thing.
Thanks so much.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
No, right now. Go ahead.
Go
Keep
ahead.
going. No, go ahead. Go ahead. I'll wait.
So I said, I want to try to say this as a one-stop shop. If you go here, you have a browser built in. I've not left the software one time other than to show you our annotate over desktop. But I'm going to zoom back so that you can see some of those websites that y'all like to use. And they already have them bookmarked in this browser for you. ABC Mouse, some of these different things that you may use, Class Dojo, and they're already bookmarked in there. Also, again, it's a browser. It's built in. Anything you want to do, you can do it right here. And as I showed you before, in the Magic Box, you have the YouTube videos without commercials. They've already done that part for you, so you don't have to worry about those commercials in there. I'm trying to see. There's an immersive reader, which is a really cool feature. I don't want to try to get into too much, but let me stop right there. Thank you for your attention. I hope this has been helpful. Grab one or two things. Let me get in front of the camera. Grab one or two things. Yeah. At least grab one or two things that you can do right away, whether it be the pop quiz or just a background feature. Just grab a couple things that you can start with. But I encourage you to go into that Magic Box. Go online to the myviewboard.com website, connect your account, and get the My Companion app so you can scan in and have access to some of those premium features. But it's a wonderful tool, and it truly does make what you do more interactive. With that said, again, thank you for your time. Have a great rest of the year. Stay positive, be optimistic, be hopeful. Most of all, help our babies. Mr. Allen, it's back in your hands.
I definitely appreciate that, Mr. Harris. Wonderful job as always. We definitely appreciate that. I know we wish we had more time. We might need to make this a series one day. Oh, yes, just like we did with EdTech Tuesday. I think it was a lot of information, like you said, and it was definitely beneficial to a lot of people. You have a plenty of thank yous in here, Mr. Harris, that is going on across here. Thank you. Thank you. Great. So share those with you so you can see all the kudos that you're receiving. Once again, everyone, I will send this information out to you all via email tomorrow morning. So once I get it downloaded, it takes a minute to get it downloaded, uploaded to YouTube, and share that with you because it'll be a part of the EdTech Tuesday series. So once again, thank you all for joining us for EdTech Tuesday. If there are no more questions, you're free to go at this time. Thank you once again, and we look forward to having you all on the next EdTech Tuesday.